Arsenal nil, Manchester United nil, and that is the title race for Manchester United over. It is done. It is finished. The lack of urgency, the lack of want, the lack of trying to win the game, and the few opportunities that were created by Manchester United, absolutely disastrous finishing again from Manchester United. If Bruno and Rashford are not scoring goals, there is not enough coming from this team. It is so poor, and that is it. Humbled Man United fans, title race over. From Arsenal's point of view, a good point. You got out of it what you wanted. You had a couple of decent opportunities in Willian, and of course the free kick, which you almost scored from. Emil Smith-Rowe having a good opportunity, but it's a big disappointing night for Manchester United. We see the embers of a very early title race put to bed tonight. Absolutely put to bed. We want to hear from you, though. What we're going to talk about tonight is Manchester United's title race. Is it indeed over? Cavani's disastrous misses. Cavani's disastrous attempts on goal, letting Manchester United down. Arsenal fans, I want to speak about Willian coming on for Martinelli. What was the rationale in that? Your best player in the first half. How are Gooners feeling about picking up a point in this game? Happy, sad, or indifferent? But for me, the title race for Manchester United is over. We're going to take calls first of all this evening. So we're not going to get the panel until later in the show. We're going to have Igal, Kesh, the KJ, of course, and many more on the show. That's going to come after you, the fans, having your calls, getting yourselves on. The link is in the description below for you to come on and have your say. But smash the like button. Big shout out to our title sponsors as well. We want to hear from you this evening. It's important you call in and have your say right now. I want to know if people are happy, sad, frustrated, annoyed. I want to know where your mind's at. A super chat here from Gio. Says the noisy neighbours are getting louder, Terry. Can't wait to hear Alfie because he backed Man United to win the league. He is a real one. I hear you on that. And another super chat's just come through here as well. It's Baz who says this is the pain you need to go through to learn how to win. We are on schedule, in my opinion. And I hear you on that, Baz. I do hear you. I hear you that there is that element of being on schedule. We maybe slightly were ahead of that, talking about title races early this campaign, but there's a lack of urgency. To stay at the top, you have to be willing to give blood, sweat, and tears every single game. Keep trying in every single moment, never letting up, giving your all. And I just didn't see the urgency in our play, the speed in our passing today from the majority of our players. And the few chances we did create were absolutely wasted. And Cavani, the biggest culprit tonight, we gave a lot of stick to Martial for missing big opportunities. We've got to act the same here with Cavani. He missed an open goal from 4 to 5 yards out. Atrocious. The devil's advocate says it's getting harder and harder to back Ollie when it comes to the same tactics again versus the top 6. Just don't lose. Bro, this is a player thing more than a manager thing today. You can't legislate for the misses from these individuals. You could hear from the touchline them screaming, get forward, press, speed. You could hear it. It's the players. Do they believe? And maybe it is Ollie. Maybe it's Ollie not making them believe. And I'll give you that. This ain't a tactical issue tonight for me again. This is deliverance. This is delivering in your role. And some of these players are just not up to it at the highest level. I'm telling you that now. If it ain't Bruno and it ain't Rashford delivering or Pogba scoring a screamer, the rest of the players in the attacking front for United this season have let the club down. No doubt about it. Good result for Chelsea. Keep creeping back is what's said here. James says, better result for Arsenal than United, I think. And you are absolutely right. It's a much better result. No doubt about it. Remember, the panel are coming on later in the show after about 30 minutes. We're going to start going to your calls right now to get you on and have your say. First caller of the night. Before we do that, actually, we'll take a quick look here at the league table as it stands. 4-point advantage. That's going to be with a game in hand. When that gets refreshed, I'm going to refresh that now, actually. I hadn't had that done. That's going to refresh. 4-point advantage, 3-point advantage with a game in hand for Manchester City. And they are going to pounce on that. They're going to pounce on that. That is going to spread to 6 points. And it's going to become harder and harder to pull ourselves back. It truly is. Jason here says, Terry, why do you think Ollie's not playing Rashford in his best position on the left? What do you think? Listen, today, I didn't think we were playing badly. We had to make the McTominay substitution. We had a really good end to the first half, but then we faded. We had our moments and people didn't deliver in them. Rashford's being put out there because there's nobody else better than him to play in that position at the moment in terms of form. And it's damaging Rashford. It's damaging Rashford. It's so unfair. Ben here says, missed 3 or 4 chances, and yet people are blaming Ollie. Embarrassing United fans. Let's jump into these calls. Want to hear from Gooners, want to hear from Man United fans, respectively. The panel will be here in about 25 minutes. First up, we're going to have man like Brian on the line back with us. Brian, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Give me your thoughts and feelings after that disappointing stalemate.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Terry, to be completely honest. I mean, it was the thing that I've been hearing about so much lately from Manchester United fans, rival fans alike, and rival fans' opinions about players like Anthony Martial matter a whole lot less than the opinions that the actual Manchester United fans have of him, and they wanted him to be dropped. He was dropped today for Cavani, and Cavani lets us down. And it's one of those things where last season, our push to the top 4 and our kind of emergence as a really dangerous side after the restart of the Premier League season came through having such a phenomenal attack. Everybody was on song, everybody was playing together, and all that was spearheaded by Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes today even started to dial it back a little bit about playing as many low percentage passes as he normally does. And the rest of the team around him started making big mistakes on the ball and not just taking chances when they arrived. And we've got to find a way to get out of this. And I think it starts with Ollie solidifying and figuring out what to do with the number 9 position at the club. It's a problem right now.
You're absolutely right. It is. And he needs to make a decision because today Cavani let Man United down. There's no debating or denying that. He missed gilt-edged opportunities. But does that mean you drop him for the next most important game? There's going to be rotation because of the amount of football we're playing. For me, it's no. Cavani needs a run of games still because Martial's had ample opportunity. But we have to start taking these chances. The reason we didn't win in our last couple of games is we lacked those moments of brilliance that we get ridiculed for. We created the openings. We had the ball in the right places, but nobody delivered. And if you fail to deliver at this level of the game, you're never walking away with the spoils. And that's what I'm frustrated with. The system's there. The openings were there, but we just let up. And we should have gone in at halftime in front. We should have taken the lead in the second half on a couple of occasions, and we opened the door. And if it wasn't, an inch lower and Lacazette's free kick goes in and it's disastrous for us. In terms of the title race, Brian, is it over in your opinion?
I think it was a bit of, to be completely honest, I never thought that Manchester United would win it this season. I just think that our side over the past few years has been either very top or bottom heavy. We've been really good attacking wise, not so great defensively. And now we've kind of switched those where our defenders are playing much, much better. Luke Shaw and Maguire have been excellent. And the back line have really solidified themselves and are starting to play much more like a unit. But the race is still, we're still going to be in the race. I think that Manchester United are still good enough to be in the race. But to take the race seriously is, will we go and win it? We're going to need a lot of help with the way that we're playing this season. And that's just a reality of the team. And it's all part of the journey and the process to getting back to where Manchester United wants to be. It's disappointing for this season, but things are still bright for the future going forward. So I'm not going to be too down about this result overall.
I hear you, Brian. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Some more super chats here. Going to get more of your calls on. SS says, you guys were never in the title race with the PE teacher in charge. Premier League is world-class league. A PE teacher kind of manager is never going to do it. Lol. Well, then that means there's no embarrassment in today's result then. So that's very good to know. Aubameyang, Saka and Tierney, United finished 0-0 versus the bench. Listen, the shape, I don't know what to call it, but the shape that Arsenal are back to playing very good pragmatic football again. There's no doubt about that. Hard to break down. Gregory says the lack of key summer transfers is clearly starting to catch up with us, especially that right wing. Physical and mental fatigue is kicking in. I hear you. Next up on the show is going to be Brandon. Brandon's an Arsenal fan. What did you make of your team's performance today? And are you happy with the point?
Yes, mate. Very pleased with the result, to be honest with you. I mean, when the starting lineups came out, I mean, even if we go back to yesterday, I was quite confident that we could win this game 2-1. And then the starting lineups came out. No Saka, no Tierney, no Aubameyang. Our bench was looking dead, and I was starting to worry a little bit. But I think we played all right. I think we played decent football. Like you just said, pragmatic, decent football. Manchester United sort of shot themselves in the foot in a way, because I was looking at the matchups, right, and I was dreading Marcus Rashford versus Bellerin. And then when I see Rashford playing on the left-hand side and not the right-hand side, I think that sort of gave us a little bit of an edge. I was quite worried about Manchester United getting in on that left-hand side over Bellerin. I thought David Luiz had a very good game. Emil Smith-Rowe.
A question for you. Is Arteta changing your mind? Because you were very much Arteta out. It's 7, 8 games now since Boxing Day where you've been superb. You're picking up points. You're climbing up the league. Surely now you have to kind of retract your Arteta out statement and get behind your manager now.
What I would say, Terry, is I'm not one of these fans who's just going to say Arteta out and that's it. If he changes my mind, and he is slowly starting to do that, we are improving, then, you know, fair play to him. And I will give him credit for, you know, the performances in recent times. But I just look at our next 5 fixtures. We've got very, very tough fixtures up and coming. Obviously, Man United was one of them. If he can do it consistently throughout these next 5 fixtures and say we win 4 out of them 5, and we start to push ourselves back up the table again, then maybe I might change my mind a little bit more. But for me, the minimum expectation for Arsenal should be to finish in top 4.
There we go, mate. Listen, Brandon, thank you very much for coming on, having your say, mate. Really appreciate it. Get your calls in, people. But I'm putting time limits on these calls. I want energy. If we've got no energy, there's no passion, you're done in 10 seconds out here. Come on. This is Man United Arsenal. Points have been dropped. Bad substitutions. Terrible misses. Where's the fucking energy? What's wrong with you people? Where's the fucking energy? Let's go. Next up on the show is going to be, we're going to go to Tommy Tom. Tommy Tom, welcome to the Football Terrace. What you saying?
Oh, mate, I'm gutted, man. I wanted some rants on like Arsenal fan TV on here, but I'm gutted, mate. Mate, both teams
Listen, if you ain't coming on here with energy, they're done in seconds, brother. I'm not here to have a mother's meeting. Let's go. What went wrong tonight? And do you think Man United's title charge is off, Tommy?
Over, dead, over, finished. What I would say is with Ollie tonight, he didn't park the bus usually, because whenever he loses a game, he'd fall back into his old tactics where he'd park the bus. So I give him credit for that. But unfortunately, I think the players let him down today. And I think the Sheffield United loss was on Ollie, but today it was on the players. That's what I would say.
No, I hear you completely, mate. And I do think the title race is over as well. I agree. Tommy, mate, thank you for coming on. Next up, we're going to have Realistic Gunner Laurie. Laurie's here with us. He's an Arsenal fan. A good point for yourselves. You happy with that?
20, huh? 20, huh, Terry? 20, huh? No, I'm joking. I know you wasn't really one of these 21 people, but to say I'm glad that we got a point today. It was a strange game because I thought it was going to be a game where we was going to get destroyed based on the lineup that we played. But fair play to Arteta. He seems to have found the system now. We're getting some sort of consistency in the team. So it just comes back to, if the board does actually back him, then maybe we can see a difference and maybe we can start competing for the top 4 again. So it's just one stage at a time, but I am satisfied with today's result, and we just push on to the next game and hopefully we can take the 3 points on the Wolves and keep going.
Yeah, because you certainly listen. I mean, Arsenal, the way Arteta's got you back from the brink, from sort of Boxing Day onwards, it's been absolutely excellent from Arsenal. And today the shape was good. You nullified Man United to very few opportunities, and the ones we did have, we fluffed our lines, and that's what happens when you keep the team under pressure, you keep them under lock and key. They have the opportunity to break away, and it doesn't quite come off. But if I'm a Gooner today, with the injuries you had before the game, with Martinelli coming off at halftime, I'd walk away and be pretty pleased with that. Laurie, thank you for being a member. Thank you for coming on, having your say, bro. Really appreciate it. Next up, we're going to get man like Philip Hunt on, who's a Liverpool fan. Philip, is Man United's title race over?
It's dead. Dead like Chris Brown's career. I thought 21 was coming, Terry. I thought 21 was coming. But now City are like they're rubbing their hands right now. Because you should have won this game. Your away form has been great. Arsenal, look at their lineup. They were dead. You should have won this. I think you bottled it. And but then again, Liverpool, we've kind of bottled it ourselves. Unfortunately, us two, United and Liverpool, we're going to have to put up with a couple of months of City fans, celebrating their 5th league title, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you guys did bottle it, and I think it's over.
Philip, have you got earbuds in, bruv? Have you got Bluetooth headset in? Yeah, cool. Try not to call in with Bluetooth headsets. They interfere. They're rubbish on StreamYard, bro. But I do hear what you're saying. Thank you, Phil, for coming on, mate, having your say. I'd love to speak longer, but I can't have that noise in my ears. I really, really can't. Remember, the panel's coming on in about 15 minutes. We've got Kesh and Neek's backstage already, so keep tuned for the panel being here. Next up, we're going to get who we're going to have on the show next. We're going to get Daniel. Daniel he's not ready yet to come on. We're going to get Choppers TV on the show next. Choppers TV, who do you support?
Yeah, Manchester United,
What are your thoughts on the game? Is the title race over, and did Ollie bottle it today?
Well, in a way he did, but the title race is not over. We lack finishing. That's what I'll say. We lack a lot of finishing today. So, but the title race is not over. That's all I gotta say.
That's all he wants to say. Man came on to say that. Bless yourself, brother. You have a good day. All the best. Listen, I don't even have it ever started. I don't think United are winning this league. Dinesh here says if Liverpool beat West Ham and Brighton in the next 2 weeks against City is a title decider at Anfield, what do you think? Well, I wouldn't say a title decider, but it puts Liverpool right back in the hunt. Liverpool can't afford to drop any more points because City are on fire. Keep smashing that like button, ladies and gentlemen. 4,000 people tuning in. Next up on the show, we're going to get ads. Ads, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say?
Not fucking good enough. Not good enough. And listen, any respect to the Arsenal fans, I feel like Pepe had a good game today, but no way are going to get into their level and accept a fucking point today. That was an embarrassing performance. I don't care what anyone says. I think Pogba and Fred had a good game. I think Bruno was inexistent in the second half. I think our back line actually did pretty well. I'll give props to Lindelof. He did pretty well. I know people give him a lot of hate, but I think he actually did pretty well today. But what the fuck was the attack today? Cavani missing sitters like that, and like Timo Werner now. Martial coming on was just... I understand why Ollie did it, but at the same time, to put your faith in a player that's consistently inconsistent this season is atrocious to put him on. And I'm sick of everyone saying, "Oh, Van der Beek should have come on. Like we needed him. We didn't need him. He's an option for us to put him on. Yes, I think I would have taken him on instead of Martial from McTominay. But to say that we need a player now, this just proves how desperate we are as fans to see good fucking football. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
I hear you on that. On the Bruno Fernandes thing, I mean, I didn't think he had a great game today. I didn't think he was terrible. Why is Donny van der Beek not getting onto the football pitch? We could have used a different kind of player, give him 20 minutes, trying to open the team up a bit more. He's just not getting chances. Why do you think that is?
You know what? I'll be real, because clearly, and anyone who wants to dispute this, if you haven't seen the interview, cool. Ollie has come out and said, as we all know, that he has faith in Donny, but he wants to kind of fill out with the teammates that he has already. So Bruno, Pogba, McTominay, all of this. And clearly he does put his trust in McTominay more, and just the case. Just like Chelsea, like Lampard put his faith in Mount over Havertz, and that's just something we have to deal with. But all I'm going to say is, no way will Donny ever replace Bruno as a substitute. He'll always be a replacement for either Fred, Pogba, or McTominay. And would you really want your workhouses to be taken off the field? You have to ask the question.
Well, no, I hear you on that. I mean, it's an interesting one. We became more creative when McTominay came off, but we were more open as well. So this is why Ollie does what he does, and it always makes sense. Ad, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it. Next up on the show, we're going to have Ian's going to be here. Ian, welcome back.
Hey, what's up?
Arsenal, Neil, United, Neil. Give me your thoughts, mate.
I mean, it was good as while it lasted. 2 weeks. I enjoyed top of the table. first time in a long time, and I don't think it wasn't realistic. The dream's over. I think this is definitely the end, and we have to just accept it as United fans. We're not there. We need a center back. We need a CDM. We need a right winger. You can't get away with it. We tried to get away with it, and the Glazers have been shown out again that they haven't invested in this team. They haven't backed Ollie after he got third. And eventually it was going to catch up to us. The luck was with us. As much as I hate to say it, we were lucky. And it's not going to, it was going to end at some point, and it is now. But I enjoyed the 2 weeks, and I will hopefully one day get to see it again.
Yeah, I hear you on that, bro. And I think that right-hand side is becoming a real bugbear. We've literally taken our best attacking player this season and put him in his worst position to accommodate everybody else that's struggling. And that is on Ollie in that terms of that decision.
The whole tactic, yeah.
He's being forced into doing that because we haven't got anyone on that right-hand side. Diallo, we don't want to rush him in right now. But it's a disgrace. Why are you taking one of the most potent left-sided attackers in the world and putting him on the right when everybody else is dropping out?
It was painful. It was painful to watch Rashford today. Like, the amount of times he was running past people, but he was running into traffic. You can tell he's not comfortable on the right, and we keep putting him on the right. Like, anyone can see it. He is not comfortable. So when McTominay got off, I'm like, okay, sweet. We're going to have Pogba drop back. Rashford can move to the left, get Greenwood on, if you want, on the right, and then I'll be happy with that. The one player I did not want to see today was Martial. And I couldn't believe he was getting Martial on. I know people are saying that Donny van de Beek isn't the finished product. He hasn't proven himself on the shirt, but every time he's played, he's given us something, I think. Like, every time he's played, he's given his best for the shirt, and he's getting on like the 70th minute, 80th minute. What are we doing with him? I don't understand. Like, if he's not an Ollie signing, Ollie should have made it clear. I would have preferred if he went on loan in January, proved himself somewhere else, and I would have seen we could have seen as United fans what he is as a player, because we haven't really seen himself. We haven't seen how he plays because he hasn't been given the chance to prove himself. And if he doesn't fit in this team, he's behind Fred, he's behind McTominay, he's behind Matic, he's behind Bruno, he's behind Pogba. Where does he stand? And he's just walking on the sidelines every game with a smile on his face. Like, I don't understand what we're doing with him. Like, today would have been a perfect chance to get him on.
I totally agree, mate. Thank you very much for coming on, having your say. Viewers. The panel are going to be here in 8 minutes. Gal's backstage, David, KJ, Neeks, Kesh. So make sure you stay tuned. Indiana is there as well. Make sure you're smashing that like button. If we get to 1,000 likes before the 8 minutes, we'll get them on a little bit sooner. Thank you here to Alfred, who's become a member. In terms of the talking points today, remember what we're here speaking about. Is Man United's title race over? That's one question we need to speak about. When is Donny van de Beek going to get his opportunity? And as well, and you've brought this subject up and it's right. Why are we disrespecting Rashford so much? Why are we moving Rashford into his weakest position in the attacking three slots that he fits into to accommodate other players who haven't delivered to Rashford's level so far this season? That I put on Ollie so much, and it's really starting to get up my Utah. It really, really is. We've got a caller here. We're going to get the big on next. We're going to get the big on here. What are you saying, bro?
Well, watching this today is frustrating, because today we get a point today and we beat Sheffield United. Okay, next game, whatever, cool. But we watched the match today. Cavani missed a sweaty man. He missed a sweaty man. We have to play better, man. We need to actually play better. And you're right. Playing Rashford out on the right hand side to accommodate everyone else. Ollie, I think I'm an Ollie in there as well anyway, but he has to make a decision. He has to make a decision, even in the summer. Because I love Martial in it, but in the summer, there's a big decision that needs to be made at centre forward. Because if Ollie, remember, he said that he's going to be successful Man United without Martial, with Martial Rashford there or not in it. There's a big decision that needs to be made in the summer to buy centre forward.
I completely agree, mate. A big decision needs to be made. Thank you very much for coming on and having your say. A lot of people getting triggered by having a pop at Cavani. No. Any top-level striker who misses an open goal deserves to be criticised. Any top-level striker that misses gilt-edge, easy-to-score chances needs to be criticised. If Rashford missed them, he'd be getting criticised. If Martial misses them, he'd be getting criticised. Grow a pair. Take the criticism on board. It needs to happen. But when's Donny going to get a chance in this team? I want to hear from you now. Next up on the show, fuck off, Phil. My boy Phil Green's backstage. Mr. Bond is here. Mr. Bond, what do you want to say?
Yeah, I was going to. Quick one. So I think one of the biggest issues we had looking at this game and the last game and even the games against Leipzig and those games is the defensive midfield issue. And it's not really about defensive midfield in the sense of being a tackler and that sort of thing. We need to have a Carrick back. You think about our great days, our great counter-attacking days, all these things, the 8-second goal against Arsenal back to front. We need someone who can connect defense to attack with one pass. Matic seems to be able to do that sometimes, but he's not mobile. And that's why sometimes we look like we're just going about aimlessly on the ball because we can't just cut through the middle. And then we end up going around the sides and becomes very easy to intercept. And the other thing is with Martial, I really think he needs to buckle up because he has pace, but he doesn't play like he has pace. He's strong, but he doesn't play with strength. And he's explosive, but he doesn't play like he's explosive. And it really sucks that Rashford has to be the one to make way because we think Rashford has all these attributes and he can basically go around and do all these things. But I think all in all, I'm disappointed with the point. I don't think the title race is over for anyone. Liverpool could win 3 games and they're back in it. Anything could happen this season. It's COVID season anyway. But I think really our right wing issue, defensive midfield issue, and that tempo, because the tempo really starts from the back, from the base of the midfield, until we get a player. And this is why I think Donny could work. Donny is not the best 10, neither is he the best 6, but he could be that guy who sits along the tackler in the base of the midfield and set the tempo. Because if you look at how Xavi Hernandez played, Xavi rarely played long balls. He was always short, and that's Donny's thing. It's the Ajax way. It's a short ball thing. And we need someone who could really knit the midfield to attack, because you saw how many times Bruno dropped behind the halfway line trying to make things happen. So I really think that's a position we need to be looking at this summer. That and obviously the right wing position.
I hear you, mate. Really good points made there. I think we need to start trying to find a place for Donny in this team. We need something different because right now it isn't working. Thank you for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, the panel are ready. The panel are waiting. You've been waiting patiently. Make sure you're smashing that like button. We're going to get them on right about now for you. Thank you all so far for your calls. But is Man United's title race over? Is Rashford being hung out to dry by Ollie's tactics and his persistence of playing everybody else in the central roles or on the left-hand side? When's Donny going to get a chance? And Arsenal fans, are you happy with that point? We're going to get the panel on right about now, people. Let's do this. We're adding a few people in here. KJ's here with us. I don't know why it does that Fran stuff around. We've got bits and bobs here as well. My boy Phil Green is in the house as well. We've got a few more we're going to add in. We've got Neeks as well. Going to get some more of these boys in a few moments. Who wants to go first here?
Listen.
All right, give me, because I got the bottle, man. Seriously, real talk. I got the bottle.
All right, listen. Yo, Bobs, you go, fam. Then I'll go after you, bro.
Like, do you know what? Yeah, I said it in the group chat. I called them. I said Arsenal were playing for the draw. Yeah, listen, they didn't have their main players out. We had a very strong team. We fired blanks, unfortunately. Everyone's talking about Cavani. Yes, Cavani missed some clear-cut chances. Rashford's decision-making. Martial looked like he was going for a stroll in the park. But Arsenal looked like they were trying to get the steps up on their Fitbit, just running about, doing nothing. Man, it's annoying for us because obviously we're trying to, on a title charge, we're in a conversation for the title. However, you have to beat small teams like Arsenal. If you can't beat small teams, you don't have the right to be in a conversation for the title at all. And I mean, a lot of us, I'm seeing some of the guys here, we're just frustrated, very frustrated that to go to the Emirates, we've moonwalked there, we've danced and everything, and we still can't go there and get the 3 points against a battered team. David Luiz was the man of the match. Are you kidding me? We can't get any change of Sideshow Bob. Is that what Man United's telling me right now? It's frustrating. And when you look at some of the players' body language, you want to smash your TV up because you think to yourself, how are you not getting past Bellerin? How are you not getting past Cedric? How are you not even getting any change from David Luiz and flipping Houdini, whatever they call him? Real talk, Arsenal will be happy with this. Let's be honest. Against a big club, a top 6 club, they've got a point at home. They're going to be happy. Man United fans were gutted. This game was bullshit, man. We should have beat them. On you go, KJ, man.
Ridiculous. That game was ridiculous. Foolishness. You know what I'm annoyed about it? One of the things I'm annoyed about, is because these guys that I ride for, what are you giving me to use? You give me nothing. Fred, I call you the pastor. Yo, you need to get some prayer for some deliverance for that passing today, bro. Because it's atrocious. Poor. Rashford, decision making. Poor today. Shooting. Where are your shooting boots? Why are you shooting? Why are you trying to do man on the line when you should be shooting? Cavani, bro, now listen, I said it before. Cavani, great signing, he's been very good. But he's not this one-shot clinical man that everyone thinks he is. He's not. 3, 4, 5, he needs it. And we're not giving it him. And that's the issue. It was not good enough today. I'm tired of it. The only 3 players that can hold their heads up is Luke Shaw, Paul Pogba, and Lindelof. The rest of them, not good enough. It wasn't good enough today. It was poor today. And what makes it worse, is that these things, will get put on, we get put on the players, but also they get put on Oli. And you look at the reason why are we in this predicament? Why do we have to play McTominay and Fred in the midfield in big games? Why do we have to play Paul Pogba on the left wing and then put Rashford on the right? It's because these pagans, these wallahs that run our club are not doing it properly. You can't tell me otherwise. You can't tell me nothing else. Why are we Man United and not have a proper DM? How are we Man United and don't have a proper right wing? Why are we relying on a 33-year-old Cavani to be our main striker? Someone tell me why. Because you know why? Because these pagans don't care about actually being the best. Our squad is so imbalanced and I'm sick of it. They are the man that can change it. They are the man that can change the way our squad is. It's January. We're on top of the table. What moves are we making? None. No moves made. Going into summer, all this talk about Sancho, all this talk about Upamecano, rubbish. It's all just PR. I'm telling you, people, don't fall for the PR, people. Wallad Woodward is pulling strings, fam. Let's not forget this. Viva la resistance. Screw these man. I'm sick of them.
I hear you on that one. I'm going to go to an Arsenal fan here. Great what you both just said there, boys. I want to go to Igal on this. From your point of view, though, happy with the point? Happy with the performance?
Listen, we should have won that game. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. We're playing for a draw. Are we watching the same game here? Like, Lacazette hit the bar off a free kick. Pepe almost destroyed the whole team and scored a single goal at the end of the game, near the end of the game, like a couple minutes left. In addition to that, when you're talking about your best players, Rashford, today played on the right. You know what? On the right, Cedric had him on toast. Martinelli was coming, he had him on toast. Rashford didn't do nothing today. And I don't want to hear anybody say anything good about Rashford today because he didn't show anything good today. Same thing with Bruno. When it comes to Arsenal, on the other hand, let's talk about Arsenal quickly. What the hell, Mikel Arteta, I back you every single day, but please do not ever play Willian again. The man came onto the pitch, did not offer us anything. There was moments in the game where Willian was, I'm not even going to say he was playing against us. The man was literally not playing football. I don't know what sport he was playing. He might be playing cricket, curling. I don't know what the hell he was doing because every time he received the ball, he's going either backwards or he's playing the ball out of bounds, off the pitch completely. And you know what? What you said right there earlier, Bits and Bobs, you're completely wrong. You thought we were playing for a draw. We came into this game with no Tierney, no Saka, no Aubameyang, and we came toe-to-toe with you guys throughout the whole game until the last minute of the game. We were still attacking, trying to get goals. So don't try to say we were sitting 10 men behind the ball the whole entire time. We were going forward. We just weren't being stupid and going forward with the whole kitchen sink. So don't say we were bad. We're playing for a draw.
On your Willian comment, I thought it was a strange one, but you became a better attacking unit in the second half. Does that not mean anything? Because in the first half, you had more shots, but they were all pop shots. You didn't open us up. You didn't really create any real problems at all for Manchester United. Second half of the game, that opening 20 minutes of the second half, you were potent. Yes, he had an opportunity that you could say you should have scored from, but equally, like you said, Pepe missed his chance. Like nobody else scored or even got their shots on targets. At least Williams had to be blocked. I mean, I think your criticism of Willian is a little bit harsh considering that you improved when he came on.
How is it harsh, Terry, when the player has not even registered a shot on target? in 20 games. The man has not done anything.
The shot he had, Igal, was going in. It was a world-class block and recovery from Wan-Bissaka, but you're not listening to me. You became a better attacking outfit, and you were more dangerous both in your general play and approach play and on the counter-attack after he came on. He gave your team more balance. Why would you not recognize that? Was it a good or bad substitution by Arteta, in your opinion?
I think it was a bad substitution. At that point, I would have played Odegaard on the right and moved Pepe to the left. And I would have, at that point, if Emil Smith-Rowe got injured later on in the game, then you bring Willian on. At last resort, bring Willian on. I generally feel like at times Willian destroys our plays. You were watching from a Manchester United point of view. There was times where we're attacking and Willian would get the ball. First thing he would do is try to protect the ball, and it would go straight back to you guys because he can't even receive the ball under pressure and protect the ball from getting stolen off him. In addition to that, every time the ball was in his side of the pitch, it would either get recycled back into the midfield, or it would be a useless cross that gets nowhere near anybody. So in my opinion, that is one person that deserves criticism. There is another person that deserves a highlight. David Luiz deserves a highlight. But at the same time, Rob Holding did a good job too. And you know what? Cedric on that left-hand side, he's shown us today that we might not need a backup left back if we have Ainsley and him still at the club, because he can play both right back and left back. And you know what? He's been a decent signing so far. I'm quite happy. I'm not happy with the draw. I'm disappointed that we didn't win this game because I thought you guys were for the taking in the last 10 minutes. You guys didn't show us anything of note.
So hang on a minute. So Cavani missing 2 open goals isn't showing you nothing in terms of you didn't have opportunities as good as ours.
I said both teams were lucky, but at the end of the day, you guys were a little bit more unlucky than we were.
So you retract your statement that we showed you nothing then? In
the last 10 minutes, we were the ones that looked like we were going to score.
That chance that Cavani missed was in the last 2 minutes of the game, bruv. What are you talking about?
Come on.
What game were you watching, Igal? I'm going to go to Neeks next. Neeks, is Man United's title race, in your opinion, over?
Man City will win the league. I don't think our title race is over, if you want to be technical about it. But we're not going to win the league. We're not going to win the league. From before, when you lose to Sheffield United, when you got a chance to return to the top of the league at home, you're not going to win the league. That was evidence enough for me. I didn't think we were favourites in the first place. But no, I wouldn't say our title race is over. The league is so up and down. But Man City are 6, 7, could be 8 games won in a row right now, which no one's completed so far. I don't think anyone's won more than 4 in a row, which we've done twice. So Man City are pulling away little by little. They're keeping clean sheets, which means you only need to score 1 goal, and they're also creating chances. In terms of this game, I think Arsenal fans can be happy with the way their team played in between both boxes. But the reality is we created, again in these big games, barring the Spurs game, and maybe the game at home to Arsenal, barring those 2 games, we created the 2 biggest chances in these big games, and we failed to take them. We did the same against Chelsea, we did the same against Liverpool at Anfield, and we done the same today. You're not going to get you're not going to get a lot of chances in those big games. It's always fine margins. When you miss an open goal in a big game, for me, that's criminal. But then you get the opportunity to rectify it twice later, because there's a chance where the ball gets dragged back and he missed kicks, but then it goes out to Luke Shaw, and I just don't think he had Cavani, that is, got into the box quick enough. It was there for him to get there.
Neeks, who do you put this on, mate? Because
put what on?
Put the fact that it's, whether we're looking at the semi-final hoodoo or we're looking at these big games, even when you go back to Paris Saint-Germain this season, Paris Saint-Germain beat us in the game at home. But it was like the open goal missed by Martial, the chipped attempt as a crossbar. In all these matches, we should be taking leads or extending our lead, and we throw it away.
Well, let's be honest. When it comes to
why is it happening?
When it comes to missed chances, for me, you have to put that down to the individuals, because if it, throughout the whole season, if we're taking those similar chances against smaller opposition, so to speak, when it goes to the big games, the goal is the same size, the ball is the same size. You just have to be confident to take it. And maybe it's the pressure, knowing that maybe we're not going to get a lot of chances. I have to take this, and it plays through the players' minds. So then you can say, do we need to create more chances in the big games? But also the players need to step up, because you're never going to create the same number of chances in these games against better opposition. I think, listen, no one can say the strikers didn't get the service today. Sheffield United, strikers didn't get the service. Yes, we should have done better. We should have played through the lines better. Our passing out from the back was too slow. Arsenal were good in the press, and we were trying to break break the go over the top, and the passing was poor. But time and time again, we still got into the final third, and either a poor decision on the ball or a bad finish, and it ends the game 0-0. It's not good enough.
I hear you. Mr. Green's with us. Obviously, Aguna. Happy with how you guys played today? Do you feel that a point was enough for you, or do you agree with a gal that Man United were there for the taking, and you should have, you should be walking away with all 3 points? You're on mute, bro. Actually, you're unmuted. You're unmuted. There you go.
Well, thank you very much, Terrace. I think what we was working with today, like, I'm not happy with the performance, but I'm not unhappy at the same time. Like, you guys started with an extremely high press. You put us under a lot of pressure early. Like, I'm still not. That's testament to how far we've come as well. We're able to play from the back comfortably. I'm still not happy with it. You know what I mean? There was a couple of incidences, especially when Luis played it across the old penalty box, man. It's like, but we can get away with it. We can play our football. But I think as the match progressed, you can tell certain players like Partey, his parting it started to go astray because we was under so much pressure for that first part of the game. Like, players thought they was under constant pressure after that. So it was like we was rushing passes. Even Smith Rowe, he wasn't as fluid as he normally is with his passing game. So, but we United, you guys have got a lot of issues going on there. Like Cavani, this is why he doesn't start, because we all know he's got a history. Like, he's like Andy Cole back in the day. I mean, he leaves at least 9 or 10 chances sometimes to tuck one away. So I was happy when I saw him starting, because I was quite confident that, you know what I mean, if he gets some chances, he's gonna fluff his lines. But that's it, man. I mean, Cedric and Willian as well. This is why Arteta brought them into the squad, because they're not world class. They're never going to be world class. Willian especially is coming to the end, but they can fill gaps if we're struggling. We know we've definitely got injury issues, which is still an issue. I still don't know what's happening there. I think we need to look under the hood there, man, because it's every player that's coming in still, there's pure injuries. But you guys can fill multiple positions, and that's why they're there. They're not gonna, you know what I mean? All right, Cedric at left back, he's outdone himself. Give him props. But like Willian, I thought he was gonna be performing better than this.
I think that's why you guys paid him 250 grand a week. You expect a lot more, and I do hear that. I do hear that. P, thank you very much. Kesh, I want to go to you quickly. I mean, and then we're gonna talk about some of these things about title races and whatnot. But from an Arsenal fan's point of view, how are you feeling right now, Kesh? Disappointed, happy, the one that got away? What's going through your head?
First of all, I just want to say bits and bobs, man. The total disrespect you came on the stream with. Come on, man. We didn't come for a draw. We came to play. We played our game. We didn't come to play the occasion. We came to play our game. Yeah, like I thought we played the first 20 minutes before we started well. Like, this team, what it is people's decision making lets us down time and time and again. Because I remember when Pep Guardiola first came into City, and he was talking about when they get opportunities to make a good attack and get a goal. He says it's better to don't try to be the one that steals the limelight. Play to the man in the better position. And when you see Lacazette take a shot from there, you just think, outrageous. What are you doing? That's your chance to go 1-0 up. And, little decision like that goes against us. In terms of Man United playing, I felt Man United didn't play well. I know you got the 2 opportunities, but like I say about Pepe will be in a game and he'll score 2 goals and don't do much. And I feel that same thing applies to the way Man United played. They cannot be playing well, but because of the players they've got and the quality they've got, they can just get a chance from anywhere. But they don't take it today. And obviously, I don't agree with Igal that we could have won. I think either team could have won because there was chances there. So either team could have won if they took their chances. Yeah. In terms of the second half, I felt we came out strong. We started to show a bit of dominance, and I feel Partey didn't play the best today. He didn't play the best, but I feel that kind of stems from the way Smith Rowe was kind of playing. He was playing a bit too timid. There was times when he was getting the ball in the pockets, and you just think, take the off turn that he normally does. He wasn't taking the off turn. He was trying to play too safe, and then there's times when he was playing it into Xhaka and putting them in trouble.
Yeah, I hear that. Kesh, from your point of view, when you look at the situation now of Arsenal, top 4 race, do you feel that you're creating a team now, you've turned the corner, and with the topsy-turvy season you're in, do you feel it's possible that you could push for that now.
Terry, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think there's a lot of stronger teams ahead of us. And if you look at the run that we've got coming up now, unless we grind out some serious results in that run, then we can talk. Over the next 5 games, if we can get results out of the next 5 games, then I think we'll have a chance.
Fair enough, bro. I appreciate you saying that. Listen, everyone who's watching, smash the like and share button. We're going to have a bit more of an open discussion now with the panel about a few different subjects. I want to pull on something, first of all, that and before we do that, we're going to rotate the panel a little bit. Mr. Green, thank you very much for coming on, bro. I'll chat to you soon, bro. Hopefully lockdown ends soon. Get you over. Have some dinner, brother. Take care, mate. All the best, brother. Thank you. And Kesh as well. Thank you very much for coming on, my brother. I really appreciate that, mate. Thank you. Gonna throw man like David in and man like Indiana as well to the back room to have a chat. But I want to speak about, it's not just Rashford, it's the entire attacking line. But Rashford's been put on the left, the right-hand side, which is his weakest position. Greenwood isn't delivering on a regular enough basis. Cavani's missing these big chances. He isn't this one chance, one finisher type player. Martial again came on early, had an opportunity. Is it wrong, though? And I want to go first back to Cage. Is it wrong to take our most informed attacker out of his best position and stick him on the right, but keep playing all the others in their natural position where they're not delivering?
You've got a squad and your best player is playing, you got to play them in their best position. And you say to the other ones, if you want to get into this team, here is where you play. We need to stop accommodating these players who are out of form in their favorite positions because, let's see if it works. No, Rash is playing best on the left, play him in the left. Whoever wants to fill a right-hand spot, you'll go fight for that because that's what's open right now. Yeah. But we shouldn't be in this position. We shouldn't even have the predicament of who do we apply on the right-hand side because we should have a right winger. I'm not letting this go. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not letting this go. People say, it's not the right time to talk about the ownership, Woodward, Glazers. When is the right time then?
When is the right time? That is the question.
I agree completely. Look, I agree with you that we need someone in that position. And I think putting the pressure on it being Diallo, putting the pressure on Palestri, and these men is stupid. They're young. We shouldn't be doing that. Man United have never bought 18-year-olds to come in and be match winners straight away. That kind of notion is foolishness. It really is. But why is Ollie? And I've got to have a go at Ollie.
I agree.
The most potent player we have in attack and putting him in his weakest position. It's brain dead from Ollie. It's absolutely brain dead.
He has to put everyone else on that right-hand side. And if we have to go down the left for the 70% of our game because on the right-hand side is poor, then so be it. But when you move Rashford out there,
exactly.
Yes, you balance the side out, but you reduce its quality. You balance it, and it all comes down to like say 40% attacking output, as opposed to being heavily weighted to 70, 80 to a 20, 30%. You can't do that. I think you need to leave Rashford on that left hand side, and you say Greenwood, find some form, go out there. Dan James, Mata, Van der Beek. I don't see why he doesn't even try Van der Beek out there, because if you're going to try one Mata out there, you can try Van der Beek. I don't see the issue there. But on top of that, beside that alone, Rashford also has to do better. I think wherever you're playing on the pitch, there's just certain things where when you get the ball and you're passing it off, or your decision making in those certain positions, you still have to do better, because we know that when Rashford plays on the left, he doesn't stay on the left. They do switch anyway. So does that mean every time you switch, you become ineffective on the right? He still has to do better. But I agree 100%. You play your best players in your best position. We saw when McTominay came off and Pogba moved into the middle, we were better because our best players are in their best position. I don't blame him for putting Pogba out wide, but I would, as I said in the preview, I would have put him on the right wing like he did against Liverpool and leave Rashford on the left.
Do you know why you do that, though?
Go on.
Sorry, Terry. Do you know why you do that, though, when you put Pogba on the right? You've got Cedric playing out of position, okay? You get someone... If you're saying Rashford, put him out there, you say, you run at this guy 100 times. 10 out of 10, you keep running at this guy. Keep running at him. Keep running at him. He's going to foul you. He's going to kick you. We'll take the book and he'll get sent off. You play on him, right? But why is it that when we were top of the league, why is it all of a sudden we're trying things out now? Like we're some exhibition FC team or something. Rashford hasn't been playing right wing. I see David smiling. Shut your mouth. Right? I see Rashford play right wing, right, when we're talking. Why are we trying things out here? This is not a friendly. This is not exhibition. You're trying to maintain a title match. You're in the conversation. You play right wing. You've been playing Mata for the last 2 years in your duration on the right-hand side. All of a sudden, now you want to put Rashford there. Why? Why are we doing this? At the end of the day, we play your best players in the best position. Football is a very, very simple game. Tactics are very, very simple. You play on the left, you play on the left. You don't come to the right. I don't know why Ollie's doing this fixing up or trying to mix things up. Don't do that. Okay, you play your informed players in their formations right now. And do you know who else I feel sorry for? I feel sorry for Luke Shaw. Because Luke Shaw and Rashford had a great partnership. They built up a great understanding in the tenure of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now he's apart. Okay, Martial and Rashford are two different types of players. Okay. And do you know what? We have to go with the informed player at the moment, and you play him in that position. You know, if it means he has to sip the Lucozade or hand the fucking chocolates to the boys, that's all he has to do. But right now, we already know we're unbalanced. That's every Tom, Dick, and Mohammed can tell you that. We know that. But let's play to our strengths. You know, putting him out there,
it's a shame because it's the best Luke Shaw we've seen, and we're wasting him by having every Tom, Dick, and Harry play left wing.
It's bullshit, KJ.
Why are you lot so angry? Oh my God!
Yo, David,
Jesus
David,
Christ.
don't come here. Don't come here. No, don't come here, David. With your why are you so when you would win games and complain about Mason Mount? Shut up. Keep your mouth shut.
What did I say before the game? I said it's going to finish 0-0, and the reasoning is you can't bank on Cavani being the guy. I said it. I said it with my chest because it's so obvious to see. I don't know why you're angry, because regardless of what happened today, you should have won. It's not like it was anything wrong with the tactics. You just didn't execute. But
no one's complaining about Ollie, are we?
To be angry, David. Of course, that's the reason to be angry, because our players, again, in another big, important game, failed to deliver. Some of that is them. Cavani's misses are unforgivable, and they're not even. Bruv, if he had one-on-ones, the goalie can save him. The man couldn't get a tap in from 6 yards on target. It's easy. It reminded me of the Liverpool game when we had the Bruno Fernandes chance and the Pogba. The chances were almost carbon copies of each other. Ollie's system works in these games. The reason we won so many last year and haven't done it this year is players haven't delivered. You know the irony? The irony is the people haven't had the brilliant moments, because that's what wins you games of football. The same as if you stop breathing, you actually die. I don't know if anyone's aware of that. If players in their roles, if their final ball ain't good enough, if their shot isn't accurate, if the goalie's positioning isn't right, if you're a defender and you've got a last-ditch tackle and you tackle too late or too early, it all goes wrong. I can't understand why football fans, they're not even trying to rewrite it. They're stating these obvious things like it's a negative that they happen. Oh, bruv, you know what? Van Dijk's only a really good defender because he times his tackles right and times his headers right. If it weren't for that, it'd be crap. That's what you're saying. Fucking idiots, bruv. All of them. Idiots. That's why we're angry, because it keeps happening to Man United. And for me, it's a mentality thing. And I do put some of this on Ollie, because he's got to coach them. Bring it, not even coach, it may not be about him. Bring in, listen, man, phone up Jordan Peterson. Get a clinical psychologist in there. Sort their brains out. This is about the head. That brings us on to the next point. Igal. Man United, any chance in your opinion of winning the Premier League title?
If you guys have referees helping you out from getting your players sent off, like today when Bruno should have been sent off.
Gal, shut up.
Shut up, Gal. Shut up, Gal.
Everyone here, everyone on the stream, no one mentioned it yet. I wanted to see if you guys were going to mention it. Bruno Fernandes fully stepped on the back of Xhaka's leg. Imagine if that was Xhaka. He would have been deported. Real talk.
No, that's not. But that's not a red, though. That's not a red, though.
He didn't even get those two teams playing today.
Did the referee know there was two teams playing today? Because anytime a Man United player sneezed on an Arsenal fan, we got booked. Is that what you want to talk about? The referee wants to get it. There's two teams today, bro.
I don't know in what world PAR looks at that.
1 second, guys, everyone, 1 second. Bits and bobs. Guys, this is a technical thing. Can you speak a little further away from your mic or change your mic volumes? It's just distorting when you're doing it, bro. That's all I'm saying. Igal, the reason why we haven't spoke about the red card is when on this show do we focus on refereeing decisions, really, massively? We don't. That's why it's not a football terrace thing. This is not a bitch channel where we thought, oh, referees cost us games. No, it happens, bruv. What about like it wasn't Lacazette. What about, I can't remember what player it was. Once that was Xhaka, hand in the face of Rashford when he was running through on a ball. He stepped in front of him to stop him beating him and put his arm in his face. We're not crying about that because that ain't why Man United didn't win today. Reason that you crying for red cards is a madness, Igal. But that wasn't my question. Can Man United win the league title?
No. You're Man City are too far ahead of you, and they're a better team, and they're just going to keep going. I don't think you guys are going to win this year.
Okay. And you really think, I'll go to it again. So you think Bruno Fernandes should have been sent off?
I think at least he should have got a yellow. I don't know how he got away with not even getting a yellow card for that. That was at least a yellow card offense, if not a red. How is the man stepping on the back of
That's not VAR's job. That's not VAR's job.
No, I agree with it. Referee should have given a yellow, but obviously VAR can't award a yellow. But I do agree. It was a yellow card.
It was a yellow card. I don't want to hear no red nonsense. It was a yellow.
No. But how is it not even booked?
How's it not even booked?
No, because
Igal, do you know why? Because the ref didn't give it. You know what I'm saying? That is it. Get it over it.
Igal, what I would say to you is, not one Arsenal player even appealed. Xhaka just got up and shook his hand. So that also plays into a referee's mind. What's the reaction? If Xhaka would have screamed and rolled and the players ran up to him, maybe, but not even the Arsenal players felt it was that bad a foul. But yet you're out here crying about it, Igal. What's wrong with you?
I'm not crying about it. I'm just showing you guys. If you guys have a blueprint to winning the league, is if the referees keep helping you like this.
No, but Igal, the reason he didn't get put is because the ref didn't give an initial yellow, and VAR doesn't give yellow cards, and he didn't go and view it either. So there was no way he could give a yellow anyway. So I don't know why you're complaining about it. You know the rules. The rules are the same for everyone. So sitting here saying that if the refs help Man United, it doesn't make any sense because they do it to everyone.
Can I ask a question? So
you know what?
I think referee decisions, is that going to affect Arsenal's push for top 4?
I think it already has. If we would have got a penalty against Leeds, we could have won that game. Right?
Bro,
That's another situation.
Let me give an example about how the inconsistencies here. We don't moan about referees here because, as I say, that's a weak man's job to moan about an outside factor damaging their team. You know, if I don't make a sale at work, it's my fault. I'm a man. I own it, right? Alpha still, baby. What I'm saying to you is this. We had a little push, the nudge in the back, not trying to win the ball of Cedric on Bruno Fernandes when the cross came in. That was no different in terms of an offence when Maguire put his hand in the nudged in the back of a defender when he went up to win a header. Same thing. You are not trying to win the ball and you barge a man in the back in one way, shape, or form. I don't think either are fouls, but yet one went against us, one went for you. This notion that Man United get all the decisions in their favour. What about just a few days ago, where Billy Sharp almost rugby tackles our goalkeeper, jumps into him with his shoulder, goes through the air like a flying salmon, and stops the hair jumping. 5 minutes later, their goalie smashes into the back of Slabhead, and because Slabhead's so big and strong, he falls over. We have it disallowed. This notion that Man United get all of these decisions is mad. And as I say, Maguire touching a player on the back to stop him from... The only reason Maguire even touched that guy, he'd already headed the ball. It was so he didn't put all his weight through his back and nearly break his neck. It's no different to the foul that Cedric made on Bruno today. But I think giving either of them would be very, very weak indeed. So everyone going, Terry, you're reaching. I'm not reaching. They're both technically fouls, but they shouldn't be given. So this nonsense that, Arsenal don't get anything, Man United get it all, is a lie, guys. An absolute weak lie.
I'm talking about that one moment. The other stuff...
Why are you bringing it up for then?
Listen, moving back on. Do you guys genuinely believe that you guys outplayed us today?
No.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
No,
yes, they
great
did.
better chance.
No.
Yes,
they did.
I think we did.
I don't think anyone outplayed each other. I don't think anyone outplayed each other. It was just a 50-50 game. We had better chances. We didn't take them. You hit the crossbar. You had shots blocked. That's all it is. 50-50, and that's it.
I thought Man United were comfortably...
You know what? This is why I asked the question. Because you guys basically played your best 11, most like this is pretty much your best 11, except for if you had Greenwood or actual right winger actually on the pitch, right? Now, in that case, you faced an Arsenal team with no Aubameyang, no Tierney, right? And also, who else was missing? Aubameyang, no Tierney, and Saka, right? So those three. And arguably, our best players have been Saka and Tierney all season. So if you couldn't beat us today and you got a draw against us, who you guys always, the whole season making fun of, I don't really think you guys can go push on and take this title and take the season by the scruff.
But we're not saying we played well.
We can't beat Sheffield and Arsenal. We can't win the title. I
Bro,
agree.
yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but we've beaten better teams than you this year. It's
You
like I
haven't
said.
beaten us all season though.
Exactly.
What?
You haven't beaten us in like 2 years now.
But we're better than you.
Like Arsenal are the gatekeepers.
Like I've said before,
You know
but
what I'm trying to say?
you've beaten. Hang on a minute, but you've beaten Liverpool twice in the last couple of years. That mean you're better than them as well. That's not how football works, bro. Like, you know what I mean? If England beat the world champ, if England beat France in a competitive game of football, does that suddenly mean that we're world champions? No.
No, but Terry, don't try to flip it. This used to be Manchester United, a team where every season when the season begins, I know that that's 3 points dropped already because we're gonna lose to them at least once this season.
Hang on, KJ. But what's your point? What's your point though? I don't get your point.
My point is, in order for you guys to have an actual title challenge, you have to have a level of consistency against the small teams and the big teams, and you have not had that against us this season.
Against you, yes, but do you want to know something? When Man United were at their peak from the mid 90s to the early noughties, before Chelsea had money, you do realize our record against Chelsea before Abramovich was bang average to terrible, especially away from home. So no matter, even the treble-winning teams struggled against Chelsea. There's always been that. We went through a period at Man United where going away to Southampton was an awful game for us. We had moments in the latter years of Fergie away at Stoke was a terrible game for us. It doesn't really mean Liverpool in the last 2 years have struggled consistently against Burnley. Does that undermine how good they were as champions? Bruv, you are honestly, this is where you show a distinct lack of football knowledge. Your system in the last few years has nullified Man United's a lot, and it's taken points away from us, and it's been hard for us. But it doesn't mean you're a better team, and it doesn't mean
your point actually makes you also bad because you're now saying, "Look how bad we are. You can't beat us." You shouldn't want that.
Yeah.
You are it's like you're praising how bad you are. That's why it makes no sense. You're not a benchmark of being quality. So it's just kind of like, why are you praising? Why are you being like, look how bad we are? You can't beat us. You shouldn't be happy.
Gal, what you should realistically, what you should have said is that in this past week, the reason why United won't be champions is because they've played against a team that was in 20th and a team that was in 10th. One managed by no, but it's true. No, but it's true. One managed by Arteta, the other managed by what's the geezer's name? Chris Wilder, and they've only collected 1 out of 6 points. That isn't good enough to be,
David,
that's not good enough to beat titles.
And that's what's bang on about us not being in a title race. We are not in the title race now. And I said I was waiting until after the Sheffield United game, and I extended it. I gave us a stay of execution because I wanted to see the response today. This last couple of games is why we won't win the league, and it's why the title race will be beyond us. Does it mean we have? But this is where Man United fans have got to be very, very careful. It doesn't mean that there's been no progression under Ollie, that we haven't improved. We are a better team this year than we were last year. The next step. It's these moments. It's these clutch moments and in these games where we need to get better. And today, the Arsenal thing, the history of it was there. But today was more about bouncing back after that defeat. And what I saw, there was flashes where we went for it. And there were moments where there was no urgency, where the players were like, and in that last 3 minutes of injury time, what I saw was a team that went, let's not go for it now because we might lose. And until that's coached out of these players, until these players realize that isn't part of the Man United, I'd rather have lost today going for it than a point. By the way, I said that after the City game, and I said it after the Liverpool game. And
it's funny. Go so carry on.
I would put a bet on, right? If we'd have gone for it properly in all 3 of them games, the worst cases would be 3 points worse off. But best case, we could actually be 4, 5, 6 points better off. Like, we'd only be 3 points worse off when we are now, and look where we are in the league.
Yeah, Terry, I would say you're definitely consistent in that regard in terms of how you're reacting to how we played and the result in the games that you spoke about as well. And I'm going to be consistent as well, because after the City game, I said, the result for me was more important because I think we just got knocked out to Leipzig, wasn't it? And we kind of just had to get over this game and then go on. And it was more like, well, we got the draw. It was at home, City weren't playing too well. We could have got the win. Let's see now what we do after. That's going to tell us whether or not this draw was an acceptable result. And I expected a draw today, like I did against Liverpool, like I did against City, which will cost us in the title race. But now it's like, all right, you lost. You've gone back to not losing. You drew the game. Now we got Southampton. I think it's Everton. And then we got, I think, a decent run in February. We need to now push on like we did after that City game back in November or whenever it is, and that's going to tell me whether or not this draw was the main thing. We cannot end up in a malaise of draw, loss, and then end up in a fight for top 4, because we've done too much work in the first half of the season to end up struggling to finish in the Champions League position.
I've got a question for Indiana though. As a coach, things are happening for United right now. Bills on a high and things are a bit destabilized. How do you? What would you change? We're not going to buy new players.
That's the first thing I would change, though, KJ.
Yeah.
I'd swap out about 5 players. The balance is so wrong in this side. They turn it on, they turn it off. It's bullshit. It's bullshit football. We're dilly-dally FC. We make like 4 or 5 good passes and then bad decisions. Happens all the time. We can't rely on having one striker, and we do only have one, that's Cavani. When he's having a bad game, you need somebody else to come on. It's not Martial, because he did come on, and his instinctive movement is non-existent. Like, there is none. He does not move. He doesn't attack the post. If he was a striker, he would have at least moved for the ball today in the box. He doesn't do that. Yeah. Playing Rashford on the right is bullshit. That's absolute bullshit, and I will call Ollie out on that. That's bollocks. You can't play him on the right-hand side. Bob's is right. Play Pogba out there. You've seen how it changed. I think we were actually better before McTominay came off, when Pogba was higher up the pitch. I thought we kept the ball better up the other end of the field. Although Pogba changed it in terms of us moving the ball forwards when you came in there. But it shows you our squad depth is just bullshit. Complete bullshit. KJ's right. We need to buy players. I agree. If we can't get the right players in January, we shouldn't buy. But this summer, we have to buy the right players. Otherwise, we're not moving forward. I'm fed up of this shit. And
can we talk about Arsenal?
You're right. You're right, and it's the balance, brother. It's that balance that isn't key. If you've got someone, if you've got someone on the right hand side that's performing, it helps everybody out. It does. Igal, you were going to say, let's talk about Arsenal. What do you want to speak about when it comes to Arsenal?
Did you guys feel like your attack was so bad today that it didn't? There's no credit to our defense, right? That's how you guys are looking at it. You guys are basically saying you're going to stop yourselves.
It was because we still made big chances when our attack was bad. Imagine if our attack was good today, it would have been peak. That's all I'm going to say.
So on that, what you did in defense, there was a few moments. I mentioned the Cedric situation earlier. That Cedric barge in the back is brilliant defending. It is. You heard Gary Neville say it in commentary. That's what I used to do, and it's fair. You had the Martinelli header that took the ball away from Rashford, who was a shoe-in to score. Not a guarantee, but a shoe-in to score from there. Those are brilliant bits of last-ditch defending. But we had the 2 Cavani chances that you would speak about. There was one where the ball comes to Rashford. I personally think he did the right thing in not shooting, because I think the ball would have got blocked. And I know what would have happened. He'd have took the shot, it'd have got blocked, and everybody would have said, stupid decision-making. You should have not shot and looked for a pass. He got the ball back. We got a free kick. We created the better opportunities in the game. And as I say, I didn't think our front and attacking line clicked, but we still opened you up. Of course, there were moments of very good defending from you, because even when you have a stinker, I bet if you go back to the 8-2 game, you could find individual moments of really good defending. But I don't think today, like Thomas Partey today, we haven't even spoken about Thomas Partey. I thought he was absolutely abysmal. Lost possession too much. I think his pass ratio was about mid 70%. For a holding midfielder, you've got to be aiming for plus 90s. He gave the ball away too much. Pogba absolutely had him on toast today. We just didn't capitalize on any of that. So did I think Arsenal were terrible today? No. Do I think your defensive line played amazing? No.
I think going forward,
if you remember early in the game, Thomas Partey picked up the ball from inside our own half, drove the whole entire side of the entire pitch,
and nearly hit the corner flag. What you want about?
And what happened? Yeah, but what happened after that? Nothing.
No, I know he shot the ball wide. And then after, when Scott McTominay came off, did you guys feel like your midfield having Scott McTominay off the pitch made you guys a better attacking team, but still defensively you guys got worse?
Well, of course we did, because suddenly we took. I mean, again, people moan about Fred and McTominay playing, but it's like saying, Chelsea fans giving it. What? We're playing Claude Makelele. He ain't there to attack. What is there to defend? Yes. Yes. He stops you from getting opening up. In the second half, the reason why Arsenal opened us up more is because Pogba and Fred don't have the same defensive discipline as a collective as Fred and McTominay. And I know fans don't like it. I know fans live in this utopia world where they think we can just play all our best attacking and balling players and not have to worry about shielding our defense. Now, in Man United's best, forget the early Fergie era. Let's go to like the Carrick era of the game. Michael Carrick played in the majority of games. If it wasn't Carrick, it was Owen Hargreaves. If both of those two players were out or missing, we had no one shielding our defense. Fletcher did an okay job at it. Every team needs a shield. And McTominay is our best shield when you're playing against an energetic team. Matic is much better on the ball, but doesn't have the legs and mobility to do it. So absolutely right again. I mean, you've just done you have to breathe.
I mean, Thomas Partey is basically just the Ghanaian or Romeu right now. He's not really doing well. He's not doing. He's not doing that well. And firstly, I'd be disappointed today because you were the better team coming into the game. You had better form. Obviously, you've got a better manager as well. Don't forget about that. And you're on a push for top 4, and you've dropped points there. You didn't beat a poor Man United team at home.
I would say it was two teams. It was two teams that underachieved this season. Arsenal underachieved this season, and Manchester United has been underachieving in a long time. This game was more important for Manchester United, and both teams came into this game trying to win the game, and we're both poor. We came out of it both poor.
I don't think we've underachieved. We've overachieved this season.
Arsenal have been underachieving for a long time as well.
No. I'm just talking about the past. I'm not talking about the current
season.
No,
but we are talking about the past. Arsenal haven't won the league since when? So you can't say
Man United. I agree with you there. I don't disagree with you there. I don't know. We're not disagreeing there.
I think the result.
Both teams were poor in certain parts of the game, but at the same time, I think at the end of the game, the last 10 minutes, I could have seen an Arsenal goal more than I could have seen a Manchester United goal. I know Cavani's chance came out of nowhere.
What next? Because you asked about, can we talk about Arsenal? And then you spoke about United. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's go back to your beloved team.
Can I say about Arsenal?
Sorry, Neeks. What next? You've got this point. Yeah, you've got this point. Cool, innit? You asked us, do we believe we can win the league? Do you believe you can get top 4?
I think we're making progress based on the team. When we play, it used to be that facing Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, and Man City, those games were the games that we're going to struggle, and we'd almost always drop points in those games. Now it seems like roles have reversed. We're more accustomed to play these games against the big teams, and we need to now get our creativity up so we can play better against the teams that have the low blocks and better defenses, that play more defensive against us. So if we can switch it into gear and get more goals against those lesser teams, I think we'll now have the perfect balance to get back into the contention for top 4. And I think all you guys can agree, we have been better against the top 6 teams, and we've now shown that we've been weaker against the bottom half of the table.
Well, I mean, listen, Gary Neville spoke about it in the game, but he was just speaking obviously. You play with this excellent, squared shape. Your centre-backs and your midfielders keep a very tight distance in those areas. Most teams would prefer the ball out wide and balls being whipped in. Most teams fancy themselves defensively to stop crosses from coming in. They do. You're very compact, and you lost that in that really bad run. You lost that compactness. You kind of lost the confidence to play it. Arteta, when he gets it right, is a very good pragmatic manager, and it makes it difficult to break you down. There's very little space in behind. That's why we should have been happy with the opportunities we created today. Your defensive record since Christmas is astounding. Only two goals conceded, and they were by the team already losing in those games. So you've been very, very good in that area, but it's because you're compact. As soon as Arsenal open up, and I do believe if you open up against the better teams on a more regular basis, you don't have the personnel at the back to stop you from getting absolutely destroyed. So Arteta's playing the right system for your team and for your players right now. And for that, he deserves credit because there's no point. It's a bit like Man United. Everybody wants Scott and Fred to not play games when we're playing the bigger teams. But equally, when we don't have the mobility and quality in midfield to stop ourselves from leaking. I get their point. They don't want them. But you've got to have a replacement for them before you actually make the change. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like you need something else. It's like, I don't like my car, so I'm going to sell it. Oh, what you're getting is I'm going to walk. I'd rather walk than drive this car. That's what you're asking for. Like you got to wait.
We haven't been playing open against the smaller teams. We haven't been playing open against the big teams. Is that what you mean?
But you should be open against the smaller teams. You're Arsenal Football Club. What if you play pragmatically against West Brom? That's a problem, isn't it?
I mean, you did play pragmatically against Aston Villa, and they handed you your ass. So
no, but that was early in the season. If you look,
but you still did it though, didn't you?
Yeah, I hear that. Recently against Southampton. against Southampton last game, it was an open game. If you guys watched it, the first half especially, it was back and forth like a basketball game. So as much as you're saying we play very pragmatic, at times we are playing open. So you can't say it's only one way we were playing.
Yeah, because that's how pragmatic works, Igal. This is coming from a Chelsea fan. I've seen it for years. Yeah, your whole thing is based on being a good defensive team. But of course you're going to have to attack at some point. Otherwise you don't win a football game, which is what you're there to do. So of course you're going to open up eventually. That's how it works.
No, you're completely missing my point. The whole entire game was open against Southampton. Against what do you call it? Even against Newcastle, we had it was pretty much an open game. Some of these games were not fully pragmatic performances. If you said Arteta's only been pragmatic the whole time, that's not 100% true. He's opened it up a lot since the emergence of Emile Smith-Rowe because we're now creating a lot more chances.
And again, that's what are you celebrating here? It's a normal thing, bro. Like I don't get it, bro. It's like passing wind. It's like, oh, I don't got fired. Yeah, cool. We all do, bro. Do you know what I mean? When you wake up in the morning, Gal, me and you are identical. We both, right, have bad breath and a bladder full of piss. It's a normal thing, bro. It ain't special. Like neither is special in that way. I want to speak.
What about this though? What about the fact that we have the second best defense in the league still?
You still mean nothing.
You're in 10 of that, Igal. You don't get a trophy for that.
Listen, you guys can keep laughing. You guys can keep laughing, keep bantering.
We're not laughing. We're tired of it now.
I know that's not a trophy. I get that. And I know that you guys are butthurt that you guys drew a game against us at home. I get it. Don't discredit the fact. Don't discredit the fact. No, you guys are butthurt. You guys are butthurt. No, you're not discrediting everything I'm saying because you're butthurt. All single one of you. Nick's butthurt. Every single one of you guys are butthurt.
Wait. Sorry.
No, guys. No, hang on. Sorry, I'm really sorry. I'm going to interject here. Bro, it's not about being butthurt. It's why are we celebrating your defensive record is good. But you're 8th, bruv. And Villa have just gone 1-0 up. So you're going to move down to 9th tonight. If Chelsea wins tomorrow, which they're likely to, you're going to be 9th. Like, why are you celebrating your defensive record?
I'm not celebrating. I'm not celebrating it. I brought up a point in why
we will talk about your defensive record when it yields you something. When your defensive record yields you a 4th place spot, when it yields you a trophy this season, then we'll say it's because of that. Right now, your defensive record might be good. But you're in and around 8th, 9th, 10th in the league, brother. It's nothing to celebrate. It's nothing to celebrate.
You can still get relegated with the best. You can still get relegated with the best defensive record in the league. You can. If you just concede the least amount of goals, you can still get relegated. If you lose 38 games, 1-0, you still get relegated. But you've got the best defensive record in the league.
No, if you just draw every game 0-0, you can have the best defensive record in the league and go down. But it's like, Scotland went out of the World Cup once. They were the only undefeated team in the World Cup. They went out. They did. They drew every game in the group and went out. But everyone else at some point in that tournament lost. So just listen, it's a nonsense.
Okay, so you want to know the point? Or you know why? You know why I'm saying this? Because if I'm saying the point, I need to be quick and concise, or else you guys are jumping down my throat every 2 seconds. Let me say it clearly to you guys. Based on the fact that we have the second best defense in the league right now, statistically, that is a point where we can move on and we can grow from that. And now, if we can balance our attack and defense and get them both higher up to the higher echelons, that's how you start winning games. First thing Klopp did when he came to Liverpool, he started addressing the top 6 teams and making sure he can get points against them. Then he started to get points against the smaller teams. If you
hang on, it's the wrong way. No, you got it the wrong way around. You've got it the wrong way around.
Goals and you concede less goals, you win more games. Well done.
Yes.
You've learned football.
But you've got it back to front with Jurgen Klopp, bro. This Liverpool comparing Arteta to Klopp thing again is sickening, right? Jurgen Klopp's biggest issue in his first 2.5 years was points dropped from winning positions. No team in professional football in Europe had dropped more points from winning positions than Jurgen Klopp's team from when he joined until Virgil van Dijk signed. The final piece of the jigsaw for Klopp was sorting out his defense and making it more solidified so he wasn't throwing away leads. Of course, you're right. If you grow from this point and you're able to not throw away these leads, you can keep defending this well whilst opening up and attacking. Great. But that's the big if, isn't it? Once you start opening up more, no one knows how your defenders are going to cope with more one-on-one defending because they're not having to do it. And this season, when your team had to cope with one-on-one defending, you got pulled into a near relegation fight. So I would say you're right. But you need to be able to create a better attacking team and create a defensive unit that's comfortable when you're when you're 2-on-3, when you're 4-on-3. Right now, Arsenal don't have that. That's why you're pragmatic. But we're going to move the conversation on for a second. I need to speak Bruno Fernandes. Some comments have come out from Paul Scholes. He basically said he disappears in all of the top 6 clashes. I want to ask. I'm going to go to bits and bobs on this. Are you concerned about Bruno Fernandes in these big games?
Do you know what? Overall, no. Short term, yes, because we need our big players playing, and unfortunately, he's not been doing this. However, this is why football's a team game. Individually we can say, "Oh, this guy's not playing," but what about his colleagues? Dig him out, help him out. When you're in the trenches, looking left and right, you need people amongst you to help you fight. And unfortunately, because of the impact he's had, the 12 months he's had, former players, pundits are going to keep looking at him and looking at him to do stuff. Paul Pogba had this, and now Bruno's getting this. This is what happens with Manchester United's great players. What I will say is that when he doesn't normally play well, he doesn't normally contribute. And I think today recently he's just been very unfortunate. Yes, you could say the big 6 and stuff like that, but beating the big 6 doesn't mean that you're going to. You could still. Alex Ferguson lost to never beat the big 6. Sorry, and we still won the league. So I'm not too worried about that. I mean, it's always the stat pads that will look at those kind of things. I'm like, he's not done this, blah blah blah. But those games that you play against the big 6 don't necessarily make you win the league straight away. So no, I'm relaxed. Form is temporary, class is permanent.
Excuse me. Those games against the top 6 don't make you win the league. Are you serious? These kind of games are the
last time
reason why
we
you're not
we
going to
never
win the
beat
league.
the top 6. What are you talking about?
No.
What are you talking
These
about?
games,
Last time we won the league, last time we won the league, we didn't beat him in the top 6.
Football has changed, mate. If you don't pick up points against the top 6 teams,
football's changed, mate. It's still the same football. You kick into the net, no? Yes or no? Yes or no?
If you don't pick up points against City, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, you're not going to win the league. You can pick up points against all the rest of the teams.
The other teams, yeah, you can, because this season has showed that everyone's going to drop points.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yes or no?
But if you want to win the league, you have to. I don't even know about what it means to win the league anymore. But when it comes down to it, from watching it, if Liverpool wanted to win the league a couple years ago, they had to beat City away. They couldn't do it. If Manchester United wanted to win the league, they had to get all their points against Man City and against us and against Chelsea.
Okay,
but they can't do that.
Listen. Do you know what? I understand the point you're making. I don't think it's as cut and dry as that, in the sense of we've got a lot of draws this season against top 6. If we'd have beaten them all, we'd be top of the league. That's absolutely right. Doesn't necessarily, not every year the team that wins the league has the best record in the top 6 games. Man United, when we were nowhere near even top 4 races, were sometimes coming top of that race. We do need to improve in them, there's no doubt. And I suppose the question that we're talking about here is, I want to go to KJ on this. Bruno Fernandes, his outputs in these games against the traditional top 6, the big 6, has been poor. There's no one can deny that. Do you think it's about time, KJ, that Ollie looks at a different option in these games, a different, bring Van der Beek on earlier, start Van der Beek, maybe try and use Bruno like he did against Liverpool the other day, because he did do it in the FA Cup, and bring him on as an impact player and try something different. Maybe what's going to happen all week. Arsenal are going to prep for Bruno. So maybe you throw a curveball and start Donny. Do you think we need to try something different?
Yeah, from time to time, it's not a bad idea. I feel like in some of the games, it's been unfortunate that the strikers haven't finished his chances. The one I can remember is Cavani against Liverpool. He crossed it in and man hit the post. He can't help that. He put it on the plate. And there's been multiple times where that has happened throughout the season in these games. But every now and then, it's not bad to switch it up a bit. Like, not every game. We can't play every game to Bruno's strengths right now. We just can't. Just for the fact that teams are now starting to cotton on to how Bruno plays and how to nullify that. So every now and then, put him on the bench. Start him in a different position. He doesn't actually have to always be number 10. Play him in the 8. Play a 4-3-3. Literally, there are things that we can do to make sure teams don't figure out how he plays. There's things we can do to change it up, to throw teams off, and he can become effective. Maybe in big games, he needs to play on the wing. I'm not saying that is it. I'm just saying there are things that we could do to make Bruno more effective in these games. Because right now, it's very simple. Give it into Bruno and hope he pulls off a ridiculous pass. We need to change it up sometimes. So yes, dropping him, moving him out of position, potentially, if it's a tactical thing that you can, and it goes well, sure. But hey, Bruno is trying at least. He's trying at least. Like in big games,
he is, and he's working. It's just Bruno's always going to like get criticism when he doesn't deliver, and he deserves it in the sense of we need you to deliver in these big games as much as anything else. Pogba suffered at the hand of this for a while, but Bruno's definitely going through a bit of a downturn at the minute. Take away the FA Cup game, he hasn't scored or assisted now. I want to say 4 or 5 games on the bounce. Rashford very similar as well in the league. This is the problem that Man United have suffered in years gone by, though, and Pogba was always the victim of this, where if Bruno doesn't deliver, it's highlighted because who else is stepping up? And I'm not talking about Pogba scoring goals because he's playing a deeper role. Rashford's delivered quite a lot of times this year. I am then looking at the Cavani's, the Greenwoods, and the Martials to say, well, what about you? The only other aspect where you can't sort of defend Ollie in this is say, well, what about Donny van der Beek? Because he's barely getting opportunities. Again, not on the field of play today. He's such a talented player. Maybe there needs to be times where you say, actually, we're going to go for this. We're going to take Fred off and bring Donny in. Pogba, can you sit there and be... I know it's not his best role, but I need you to sit there as a single pivot, and we're going to bring Donny on because we need to get another 6 on the field. Let's have a go. Maybe bring him on in one of those wide positions. And I looked at today and I thought Juan Mata could have done a job today. Maybe it's someone that we don't... It's not always pace that's needed. Sometimes it's somebody with a bit more intricacy on the ball, a better passer, someone who can see, better vision. It's just frustrating me at the minute because we talk about strength in depth. We have Donny, and he isn't being given opportunities, and I don't understand why. He gets spoken about lovely by Ollie. Ollie's never going to out someone in public, but why is he not playing him? That's the kind of big question to me that's sort of standing out in the back of my mind. It really, really is. But guys, listen, thank you all for coming on. Everybody who's tuned in, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Really do appreciate it. I know we've still got guys out the back, but I've got to crack on. I've got some other bits and pieces to do tonight. Do me a big, big favor and smash the like button right now. It'd do us a wonderful favor if you could do that. Check out Manscaped. There's the promo code and everything up there. They're sponsored. Their sponsorship has been extended until April, which is amazing. I'm not going to say congratulations to any team today because it's just horrible. And yeah, everyone called it. A lot of people called it right. Stalemate in the end. It wasn't a horrible game, but it was a stalemate.
Terry, at least it wasn't 4-4.
Yeah, Aaron said to be 4-4. Madness.
I'd rather 4-4 goals, bro. Goals, fam.
No, it's just frustrating. Oh wow, I've just seen a cross on his left peg by Jackie Grealish for Ross Barkley's opener.
Sign him up. Sign him up.
You lot have an irrational love for this guy. There's a bit of me that wants him to go Arsenal just to see what you guys would do.
I would be vexed. I'll be pissed because he's.
You know what? Listen, I think he's amazing. The only issue I have with him, that's why I want to see him play a few more times in England, right? For England, because England in most of our group games play against lesser teams than us, so they play behind the ball. The one advantage Grealish has at Villa is most people don't sit behind the ball and make there be less space. I want to see how he performs when he's got 2 players on him and there's no room. I think he'll do a very good job.
If you watch his championships campaign, you get to see that because they were one of the better teams in the championship.
But then they're championship level defenders as well. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just intrigued to see what I'm sure he can do a great job, but it's one of those, it's almost an unknown, and until you take the risk, you won't ever know. But listen, everyone who's tuned in, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Until next time, take care. Goodbye.